Alright, so we just got the patch notes for Marvel Rivals Season 4. Now, I made a video yesterday saying I think this is going to be one of the better seasons, because I think what they said in the last Dev Vision was more like one of the better, this has been one of the better updates in the past, like, 3 or 2. So I'm just going to go through the patch notes and talk about the things that I think are good and talk about the things that I think are bad and some things that I'm just not too sure about until it's like actually in play. So first things first, Cap is getting a damage downgrade, which is actually interesting because of all the things. I don't think anybody's really complaining about how much damage Cap does. I think that's actually the main complaint about playing him, is he doesn't really do much damage. I think the main complaint that everybody has playing against him, though, is that he doesn't die. Like, even after all the health buffs and or health debuffs and things of that nature, the character's still really hard to kill. 600 HP, has a shield, mobile as hell. Like, so I don't think the damage was the nerf that he needed. And honestly, at this point, I still find Cap annoying, but I don't even know if he needed really a nerf at this point. I wouldn't really mind if they just slightly decrease the survivability again, but the damage thing, that's a little weird. But going to Doctor Strange is they're reducing the cooldown on his dark magic, where he, busts everywhere pause, and they're also making it so that he has 25 less health, which I don't really think was like, I don't know. I don't really think it's that big of a deal, to be honest. It just feels like kind of an unnecessary nerf. But, and I think people are going to be happy about this. I never, see, me personally, maybe it's just because, like, Emma's, like, really the only tank I play. And, like, when I play against Emma, like, yeah, she can be annoying. And she is probably the second best tank in the game. Like, the only reason I say she's not the best tank in the game is because it's hard to solo tank her. It's hard to solo tank anybody, but there's characters that like Magneto and Strange are the only characters that can really, hold the front line really on their own. And even they struggle. But they're reducing her, they're increasing her diamond form cooldown from 15 seconds to 18 seconds, which is pretty good. And they're reducing the amount of, like, energy she can gain for her beam when, hitting stuff like shields. This is probably going to go for, like, group walls and, things of that nature too. Like I said, I think Emma is a character that should be played more, like, genuinely. I think she's one of the more fun tanks in the game, honestly. She's like, besides her and, like, Venom, she's like, those are like the only two tanks I really have fun playing. So, I get people, like, complaining about Emma being really strong, especially dive tank players, but she's never really been that big of a deal to me personally, so I don't know. I don't really mind the nerfs either. But Penny's ult is getting a new effect. I thought they were actually just going to increase the damage of it, or maybe increase her health that she gets, but they're adding a new drone effect that slows enemies, and it can stack up to 40% slow, which is kind of nuts. But oh, and sorry, she's also going to be able to, like, put down more because they're reducing the interval time for placing drones and stuff. This is going to be kind of like, I don't know how big of an impact this is going to have. Like, honestly, it's hard to really tell because, for one, I don't play Penny, and for two, it just doesn't really, it's kind of just words and numbers at this point, and sometimes, you can tell how much that's going to affect, like, for certain characters I'm going to go over later. But with Penny, I'm not sure. Penny players, if we have any Penny enjoyers, you terrorists, you let me know what you think it is. But Thor is getting a upgrade with more speed, new stun, greater bring the thunder. They're increasing his movement ability on his ult, which is really good, and they're making it so that you actually stun people when your ult lands, these are nice changes to Thor. Plus, he's going to have that Angela team up, so he's going to have, like, Thor's going to be really, really immobile. Like, if you play Thor and Angela, those two are going to be super, super, like, in your face, brawly. Like, they're going to be a problem. I'm telling you, I really do think they are going to be a problem. Like, people have been, like, dissing on Thor. And mind you, I don't really think Thor's great. I think he's pretty mid right now, but, like, the thing with Thor is, like, if he has this much movement, plus he's a DPS disguised as a tank type shit, and I think Angela is the same thing too. Speaking of Angela, I actually want to pull this up because, bro, this right here, where's it at? This right here, this move that she has, so she can fly to you, she can even do this, she can flank, she can come from behind you too, like Wolverine type shit. She can pick you up like you're a fucking kebab on her stick and do that. She can throw you into your team. She can throw you into the abyss. She's gonna be a problem. Like, on certain maps, she's gonna be a big problem. Like, just looking at that, like, nah, bro. I feel like that's kind of crazy of an ability to give a character. Like, that might be the craziest CC ability in the game. Like, fuck Emma's diamond form. We got a new problem right now. Obviously, we're gonna have to wait and see how, like, where she falls in on the meta. Yeah, I mean, that looks insane. Like, actually, it does look insane. And I know everything always kind of looks insane when they, like, show off a new character in, like, those videos. But sometimes you can tell whether or not it's actually going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy. Like, everybody knew Emma's diamond form when she grabbed somebody and chose. Everybody knew that was going to be nuts. And of course it was. And that's going to be the exact same thing. But moving on to the to duelist DPS, they're making T'Challa get 5 less. I predicted this. He's getting less health when he, you know, marks or he dashes through enemies. And they're also reducing his base health to 275. A lot of people actually told me in the comments that you could already see that. I didn't notice it, so I didn't know. But this is including the fact that he gets 100, like a bubble when he gets to, you know, 100 health with the Hulk team up. Overall, like I said, this is a problem I think that all the team ups have. They're not making, like, I don't think BP needed these nerfs. I really don't, because this just makes him worse without team up. And with Hulk probably being permabanned next season, because nobody's going to want to deal with this, or, you know, people already hate the Namor squids, but they're going to have, I feel like, BP's not going to be permabanned. I don't really think he is. Maybe in, like, metal ranks, because, you know, but this is, the problem with the team-ups, I feel like, is, like, there's certain characters, like Namor. He's already a good character, but he becomes, like, really good, like borderline edges, like too good. And the same with, like, the Psylocke Emma team up. Like, you have characters that become really, like, borderline broken or just basically broken with the team up, and then you have characters that are, like, reliant on the team ups, like they're bad without team ups. I just think I feel like the team ups should do what it does with Magic, for example, like what they're doing with Magic's new team up, or even, like, you know, Cap and Winter Soldier, where they give characters utility instead of, like, you know, something that's already making their base kit even stronger, like the stuff that they're already good at even better. You know what I mean? I think that's a problem with the team ups in general. But moving on to Blade, he's gonna be doing 2 extra damage per slash, which is pretty good. It's nothing crazy. I still think he's gonna be bad, but, like, I don't know. It's a step in the right direction. He's gonna do more damage, and he's also gonna get more lifesteal from this. Maybe this little incremental number will change him, but I doubt it. And then Magic, nothing's really changing about her. They're just compensating the damage that she lost. And funny enough, bro, they're increasing, so they know that people use, like, Magic's, like, combo where you throw the slash, then you dash to them, slash, and then melee. That's, like, her one-shot combo. But with Spider-Man, when they took his team up anchor away, they didn't compensate for things that, you know, people use in combos. But Magic, she's just getting the whole fucking package. Everything's getting, you know, back or compensated. Like, even her fucking melee. But Spider-Man, it's like, nah, we're gonna make his web tracers do less damage, his web pull do less damage, his regular punches do less damage. Like, they know what they're doing. Like, what is the reason for this? I don't really get it, bro. Like, why do they hate Spider-Man so much? But moving on to Moon Knight, this is a nice buff to Moon Knight. People said that Moon Knight didn't need a buff. I feel like there's people that say Moon Knight is absolute ass because he's, like, one of the easiest characters to kill, and then I also saw people saying Moon Knight doesn't need a buff, which is just dumb, because the Moonblade thing, this is gonna make him have more survivability, because remember, he gets health, he gets over health when he hits a Moonblade, and it, you know, you get 25 for every person it hits. So this is a really good change for Moon Knight, and I really like this. I'm someone who has, like, I love playing Moon Knight, but it's really hard to play him. With the current meta, it's been pretty hard to play him for a while, just because he is so diveable, and not even just diveable, like, you know, hella, there's a lot of, basically every DPS character in the game shits on Moon Knight in a 1v1, unless he catches you off guard and you're, like, close with his Ankh. That's about the only time you're gonna lose a Moon Knight 1v1. But now we move on to Psylocke, and this is kind of a big nerf, I'm not gonna lie. I don't like this at all. Here's the reason why I don't like this. Like, if I go into, let me go into practice range real quick, right? So they're basically making it, Psylocke gets 5 shurikens. Like, when she shoots out her shurikens, you can see there's 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we're making it from 12 to 8, 12 times 5 is 60. 8 times 5 is 40. So they're basically making her burst combo do 20 less damage, which is kind of nuts because, like, let's just standing still Luna Snow. Like, that's cool, right? you know, as of right now, you can boom, 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 kills them, right? But this is with a standing still person. You could even, you know, actually, let me lock in real quick. Out of ammo. Normally you do like that, which kills, but when you're fighting people that are like moving, this becomes completely different, because you not only need to be within the perfect, like, you know, 10-meter range, but you need to perfectly track, which is not that hard, which is not that easy to do on Psylocke, right? Like, you need to perfectly track your shots. And a lot of the times, like, if you play Psylocke, a lot of the times you miss out on kills, they'll be at, like, 20. It's the same thing with, like, a lot of other dive characters. And Psylocke's not really, she's a dive character, but she's more like a midline and dive character. Like, she can do a lot of different things. But Psylocke's biggest weakness is her range. Like, she does, like, actually no damage from range. Like, she does actually piss damage from, like, you know, this kind of range. But I think a lot of the times you, like, when you miss out on kills with Psylocke right now, it's just by little incremental bits of damage. And so when you're making her lose 20 damage on her most important combo, the way she gets kills, I feel like it's just not gonna make her, like, you have characters like Hela, which, you know, can just do this shit from, I'm not hitting headshot, I just fucking got on, so my aim's gonna be cooked. Let me just go to a standing still target real quick. But, you know, 250 health from across the map, she can do that shit. Phoenix, you know, when people are grouped up and shit, Phoenix can just output, like, so much damage. Like, I don't know if I still have it. No, I probably don't, bro. I had this clip where it was on, like, the Yggdrasil's path map, the Convoy Asgard map, and there was 4 people in the first choke point, and I got, no joke, like 30 spark explosions, and I team wiped. I'm not even kidding. Like, that shit's insane. Phoenix can do so much damage, and she can one-shot through support ults. Mind you, Psylocke's ult fucking sucks in high elo. Like, fucking, you'll be so lucky to get more than 1 kill with Psylocke's ult, because if you even have, like, more than 3 people and nobody helps you, like, follow up, that's if they don't pop a support ult, or because the thing with Psylocke, you don't even need to pop a support ult to counter her ult. Like 2 healers can literally just sit there, look at each other, Luna clapping and shit, and fucking, but, like, I don't know. Personally, if they were gonna nerf anything about Psylocke, I think they should have just removed the Emma team up, and then maybe make her, like, if they were gonna reduce the damage, like, why not just make it 10? Why do you have to reduce the damage by 20? Like, 20 is insane. But yeah, next patch, I don't know if I'm gonna be playing Psylocke as much as I do. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention about this. Like, speaking of characters like, you know, Hela, Phoenix, and Psylocke and Human Torch, which are, like, some of the best DPS in the game right now. How are you gonna not even touch Human Torch? Like, they don't even touch Human Torch, but you're gonna make Psylocke lose 20 damage on her most important combo. That's, like, I feel like we're focusing on the wrong things here. Like, Phoenix and Human Torch are genuinely untouched, but Psylocke loses 20 damage on her combo, which needs to be perfect tracking, perfect distance in range, and this is also assuming, oh my god, this is just a really dumb change. Like, you can't say that the reason you're doing this, they said this in the dev update, that the reason they're doing this is to put her in line with more of the other DPSs. It's like, that's cool, but you still have multiple other characters that do so much damage, and they don't need to be as mechanically skilled to do it. That's like, you can say Psylocke needs a nerf or whatever all you want, and that's cool. Like, if they want to nerf Psylocke, make sure you nerf the other characters that are around the same tier as her to compensate that, if that's your reasoning. Like, that, this is what just makes me mad, right? Like, I have, like, 300 hours on Psylocke. I'm not even, like, she's been my most played character since this game has come out. And I'm sure anybody would agree with you that main Psylocke, if you do not track perfectly, even now, like, with her damage being as it is, you're not going to get kills. You're going to be forced out of backline before you can get any kind of assassination. And sorry, let me rephrase. Anybody that plays Psylocke in Celestial 2 or 1 and above, that's more what I'm talking about. Because in lower ranks, even in GM, honestly, but like lower ranks than that, you could genuinely sit in a backline and just fucking aim train on their supports, and you'll have extra time before you're forced out. But when you get to higher elo, you're not gonna, that's, you don't have that luxury, right? Like, you don't have that at all. It's just annoying to me because Human Torch is genuinely so fucking busted, and Phoenix is arguably better than Psylocke, but she's losing 20 damage on our most important combo. I'm moving on. I'm probably just gonna be a Phoenix main. But moving on to Scarlet Witch, these are some nice changes to Scarlet Witch. She can now be healed when she uses her like fade thing, which is a nice change. And her ultimate is going to do 10,000 damage, and it now has like a new effect where it pulls in enemies like Invis's like orb that she can throw out. So this is a good change for Scarlet. However, there's something that they're doing here. Okay, so they're reducing the damage for her Strange team up. So, but they're also not giving her more damage on any of her abilities, which she's still gonna suck. Like these are nice changes. Don't get me wrong; these are steps in the right direction, but she's still not gonna be played in like high elo. I mean, let me not say that people play anything in, you know, Celestial, Eternity, One Above All, but like in any kind of like serious, like you want to win type shit, you're never playing Scarlet Witch still. Squirrel Girl they're reducing her acorn damage from 110 to 100, which I like a lot. They're increasing the hit from her like her stun ability to 15. So they're giving it 15 more damage. Which, okay, so they're making it like 10 less damage, so it's realistically only gonna do like 5 more damage when she like gets her in an acorn trap. So she's still gonna kill you if you're like 250 health and she catches you in that acorn trap. You're still dead. But that's a part of Squirrel Girl that takes skill, right? Like a modicum of skill. It doesn't take a lot of skill, like especially when you're up close. But like these are the areas that do take more skill, and they're also increasing the cooldown for her, like, you know, her refresh, like when she can just refresh all her cooldowns. These are fine changes. I don't really have anything to complain about, but this right here is crazy. This right here is crazy. This is a fat nerf to dive. Like, no, this is a fucking huge nerf to dive. So, Winter Soldier's Troopers First ability. This is the, what's it called? This is his shift, like when he does this. So whenever he does that to you, you're not going to be able to, like, let's say you're playing Psylocke, can't dash. Let's say you're playing Spider-Man, can't web swing. Let's playing Panther, can't dash. Can't, like, this is a huge, like, buff to Bucky and nerf the dive. Because if you get caught with this, you're just dead. Like, what are you gonna do if you can't move? Like, it was already hard to get out of that, even with movement abilities. But now that it's disabled for a whole ass second, that's, yeah. I can't really, if you get caught by that, you're just dead. Like, just straight up. Like, I don't really know how I feel about this. I don't think Bucky needed this at all. I really don't think he needed that. I do think that is a bad change. I genuinely do think that's a bad change. But moving on to Invisible Woman. So her ult is getting 15 extra healing per second, which is good. I think this is gonna stop her from dying through her ult more often. You know, 15 doesn't seem like a lot, but it's gonna help. It's gonna help for sure. And it also slows enemies within range by 20%, and it increases the slow when passing through the invisible boundary. Or no, sorry, the Guardian Shield, her right click, from 30 to 35%. This was never really that useful, to be honest. I mean, it was useful, I guess, in the sense like maybe if a Black Panther dashes through the Invis Shield, it would make him a little bit slower. But like, that's kind of it. Nobody really walks through the shield. It's not really something that happens. But the most important thing is that her ult is coming more in line with, you know, Cloak and Dagger and Luna and even Mantis. Like, I think Mantis has a better ult than Invisible Woman. But next we have Jeff the Landshark, and this is still not gonna make his ult good. Like, this is better, like a lot better. Like, it's making Jeff less and less of a throw pick, but it's also kind of weird because if Jeff like puts it in like the middle of like another support ult, like if Jeff uses his ult in the middle of another support ult and he, like, you know, it leaves that healing pool or whatever, that's really the only time. But if he like uses his ult and he goes towards like backline or something, that's gonna be useless, like for you, unless he hits like a 3 or 4 man. This is a nice change, don't get me wrong, but like it's not making Jeff really anything much better. But they're reducing Loki's damage and healing ratio from 100 to 80%, so he's just gonna do less damage. Reduce the shape-shifting period from 15 seconds to 12 seconds. Example, Luna Snow's ultimate ability, reduce shapeshift residual period after the ability ends from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. So he's basically just gonna be Loki quicker after he ends his ult. This is nice. They're reducing his healing and his damage. This is good. He's gonna get less ult charge, so he's gonna get his ult less quickly, and he's also gonna, you know, just do less damage in general because Loki can fuck you up. Moving on to Luna. So the nerf was 2 seconds to her ult. It's not the 8 seconds like everybody else wanted, but you know, 2 seconds is, it's manageable. It's better than 12. You know, 2 seconds is it is better than 12. This is nothing special, and I like how they say, "See, we do nerf her," like knowing people are listening, but you don't nerf her. You gave her an Atom team up that makes her unkillable. You 2 seconds, which is, you know, it's good. I'm not complaining. I'm happy about that, but it should have been 8 seconds. She still does like some of the most damage of any support. Her snowball gives her 50 bonus health, and she can just, you know, one-shot any squishy after freezing them. So don't say you nerf her. You don't. She's still the best. She's still the top 2 support in the game with her and Loki still. Like, those are still the 2 best. It is nice that they're getting nerfed, so, you know, their ults are a little bit weaker, and, you know, Loki's gonna get his ult slower, but it's nothing crazy, but it's nice. It's nice. And then Mantis movement boost from Nature's Favor now decays. I actually don't know what is this her ult? Let me check. Receive a movement boost when not injured and healing over time when consuming life orbs. Okay. So when you press F, you get your movement boost. So that's gonna decay slower if you get hit. Okay. Doesn't really seem like much of a change. Ultron's, this is a weird one. So they're buffing Ultron's ult, but they're making it so that it deals 125% damage to bonus health. So if they don't have any bonus health, does it just do the same amount of damage? I don't know. This doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I guess this is good in this, like, because if they pop like Rocket ult, he's probably gonna kill through that. If they pop Cap ult, you know, Magic ult, things of that nature. So I mean, it's not a bad change, but like it's just kind of confusing because if it's it only does extra damage to bonus health, that's just like kind of weird because it's like really situational. I don't know, but yeah, those were the patch notes. Overall, I'm not as excited as I was a little bit yesterday. I do think there's some changes here that I don't really like, and some changes that I think they could have expanded on. 8 seconds for Luna. And I don't like the Psylocke changes, really. I think that's gonna impact her a lot, and I think if you don't have like really good aim with Psylocke, you're gonna feel it like a lot next season. Like you're gonna need really perfect tracking for you to get those, like, even come close to a one-shot combo next season with Psylocke. I'm probably gonna be a Phoenix main, Moon Knight, Hela next season, Bucky for sure. But yeah, appreciate y'all for watching. Let me know what y'all think of these patch notes, and yeah.